Sosan. Thank you for being with us. Let me just formally introduce Sosan is the Director of Training in Toronto TLS, and she's amazing. I've been learning so much from her. And a few of you already who are in the Gatlin during quarantine have met her virtually, now virtually again on Zoom. And so this is Dr. Mark's practice, chiropractic with a lot of the people here. So so I'll just pass the time to you guys. Wow, you've got a whole group of people. Wonderful.
I know, it's great. So I heard from Kitty was because my role with the company was to really help to expand TLS, but to support a lot of healthcare provider. And myself, in Canada, I practiced as a dietitian for 17 years. I have my own clinics. I actually own 2 clinics. I used to work at 2 clinics. One was in downtown Toronto, so I work mostly with executives. President, VP, hedge fund manager, lawyers, the busy people that has money but no time to take care of their health. Those are my clients. Then I have another clinic uptown because of my Chinese background. I work a lot with Chinese clients as well. So those are my 2 clinics. Relatively busy with my radio show. I have a radio show for 12 years. So I do a lot of education, and I'm very involved with the Canadian Cancer Society, Heart and Stroke, and I'm part of the advisory board. So I'm always out in the community doing a lot of outreach, teaching about nutrition because that's my passion. And on top of that, I partner with a lot of doctors to help them implement a wellness solution into their practice. As you know, the trend is towards a more of a alternative kind of practice, more of a holistic practice. So I work with a lot of chiropractor. I work with a lot of family medicine that has natural, because not all family medicine want to incorporate a holistic practice, but the one that I work with are family medicine with naturopath doctor that's on board. So that's when they're more open and they're more interested in more of a holistic practice. So I work with them in terms of implementing the isotonic as well as TLS into their practice. So I have a lot of experience in that area. So when Kitty was mentioning, I was like, I'm more than happy to help you in sharing my experience, how I help my my practitioner how to implement into their clinic, because that's my area of strength, because I'm so familiar of implementing it. So I'm here to answer question. Maybe we can start with me answering question, then and you share me what are the kind of, I guess, problem you're encountering, what kind of obstacle you're encountering, so that I can share some of my I guess my solution based on my experience working with my practitioner here, as well as coming up with solution that maybe works better for Australia compared, because I mean we're similar but different at the same time, because Canadian slightly different market, US different market. So I do have some partner in US as well. So I do understand that they have a different market compared to Canada, because for us, we're free healthcare system. So no one pays for anything. Like when you see doctor, everything is free. The only thing that they need to pay for is dietitian, chiro, physio. These they have to pay for unless they have insurance coverage that covers us. If not, everything's pay out of pocket. So we do need to be very creative in finding a value so that they're willing to invest that money for their own health. Right. So in Canada, those are the challenges that we have, because they're so used to seeing doctor for free. And so for us to build that value, that's why I'm all about building value, because the more value we build, the more clients that we're able to attract and get more referral. And that grows the practice in general.
It sounds like you've got the same system as we have, where to see a medical doctor, you can bulk bill, and to see chiropractors, physiotherapists, osteopaths, etc., you have to pay out of pocket, unless you have private health cover. That's about right, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so sounds like we've got the same system that you have over there in Canada.
Okay, so it's very similar. Okay, great then. Okay, so I guess talking about like right now is, if you were to envision your practice in 3 to 5 years, how do you envision your practice? And in terms of the service that you have, as well as the type of income that you're looking to generate?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think in 3 to 5 years, I think the TLS system would be work. Well, do we mix TLS and isotonics in the same conversation?
Yeah, you can, because I always mix them in the same conversation because they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. So I would be wanting the TLS and isotonics would be creating enough information and revenue to be up around about the $150,000 mark for our practice. That would be somewhere around about the 50% of revenue that we actually have now. So therefore, then that would allow freedom to make sure that staffing is secured, owners are secured, everything is taken care of in the way of the bills and overheads, etc. And then we can explore in other things such as education. Sorry. Well, expanding to other practices is not necessarily how we see our practice. Is that what you're asking, Suzanne? How we see our practice, or how we see our business?
Because I just want to get your vision so that I can share based on my experience working with different practitioners what works. Because I noticed that every practice that I work with, in terms of providing my solution, every practice are similar but unique, because some practice might be like, for example, one of the chiropractors that I work with is that although he loves the TLS, he likes to incorporate TLS from a pain, from a kind of inflammatory perspective. So it never called weight loss. It's more of it's like, he called it the pain-free recovery program. That was literally pain-free recovery program. So that's how he worded it. So inside we do incorporate TLS, like solution, but it was not called TLS because we still use the TLS menu plan. We still use some form of the TLS product as well as isotonic products in there. But we frame it this way. I think as healthcare practitioner, the great thing for us to do is that we can be very customized. Like these are all the tools that we can use. And this is why I want to ask the question, like, how do you envision it? Because for him, he wants to be known in the industry as the pain-free guy. Like he want everyone to come in to want that program. And that's why we create a pain-free recovery program for him. I have a chiropractor, another one, only want to do with more of not pain-free, but more for MVA patient. So he has a motor vehicle accident. So he only wants to work with those, like he has a lot of patient coming in, but the TLS and the isotonic only for his MVA patient, because so he kind of create a package where the insurance will be charged with however he lays them out. So I help him lay it out because I used to work with rehab center. So I understand how it works. So I was one of the dietitians that the rehab center, I used to work for this big rehab center where I was taking care of 20 rehab centers at that time. And they sent me to different rehab centers to work with their MVA, that obviously the high risk MVA patient that has the budget to have a dietitian. And I was on board on those clinics. So I'm very familiar how they run. So for that particular chiro, he was only interested in MVA. So that's why I asked this question, because then this way, not only we create the program, we can package things together on a combination of isotonic and TLS so that it's unique. Because I mean, let's be honest, isotonic, many places has it. Right? Your clinic is not the only thing that carries it. Kitty carries it. I carries it. But what makes it unique is what that vision of that program, that people come in because of the unique combination that you have that other clinic may not have. That's what I want to help you create that. And in order for me to help you create that, or for me to suggest for you, is I want to see what you envision in terms of profit, but in terms of what do you see your clinic in terms of, okay, adding the TLS and isotonic, but more on MVA or general population, or working for those people who has more of a joint problem, like which area that you want to focus, or maybe just everything. So this way, when we talk about solution, we can put packages together.
Well, there's no doubt that our vision is, and it also has been, nervous system and brain function. So that's what we do as chiropractors. Where the TLS system and isotonics comes into it is they diminish the stresses that impact the nervous system and proper brain function. So therefore, the exercise component, the diet component, we talk a lot about how the gut links into how the brain is affected, or it affects the brain and the nervous system when it is irritated and inflamed, etc. So we're also located within a gym as well. So those who are exercising regularly, wanting wellness, wanting health, Yeah, so not necessarily any, and weight loss, yes, as a component too, yes.
Yeah, so at the moment we have our practice has an area that we stock isotonics, and that complements our getting our patients back on track with their health and helping them with their wellness and overall well-being. But we also see a lot of clients from the gym whereby they are wanting wellness, but some of them are purely wanting weight loss as well. So at the moment, we've sort of been offering, in the past, offering TLS as a basically filling all those voids. We haven't sort of targeted as a niche. We've just, people have said they're wanting better health and nutrition, then we've recommended TLS. If they've said they want weight loss, we've recommended TLS. Yeah, and now we want to incorporate it so it's part of, improving brain function, basically incorporating into our wellness, but we have to have a target niche for the weight loss clients from the gym as well. I think kind of a bit of a,
What we've done is we've actually been able to, so the gym has been running.
Speak up a bit, Mark.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a bit quiet on that part.
In the past, the gym has been running challenges.
Okay.
And we've been doing the components. Dr. Sean particularly has been doing the components of, what components? The dietary components or the eating?
Yeah, so the gym takes care of the fitness part, but then they obviously weight loss program. So they realised that without adding a nutrition part, people weren't really having much success. And they kind of thrown something together, but then we said, oh, why don't you let us take care of that? And so we used the fat shredder program for that. And I mean, we saw, and we've got a body composition scanning machine in our practice as well. So yeah, we scanned everyone pre and ran the fat shredder and then scan and post, and had really good results with that. But again, it kind of relies on the gym running those programs, and they for them it was kind of, they were really popular in Australia. Like maybe 2 years ago, it was a really like all of the different gyms were all running these like weight loss programs and things. It's kind of fallen out of fashion at the moment, so we're thinking now running them in the clinic maybe like 3 times a year, where we bring people on and we just provide the education.
Linking into and being part of that challenge that the gym has been putting on, what we've done is we've started just running the program, the 12-week program, through our practice, and then exposing people outside to it. And then our idea is they can jump on board with that program when they see that they want to, rather than starting a program from a specific day or a 21-day challenge or a 30-day challenge, or having it as a lifestyle rather than a once-off fad, and then it starts, it stops, it starts, it stops.
Yeah. Okay.
We've tried to have like a few times we've had where individuals be like, right, I want to do it, and you've got that one person on it, and then we have to run all
Dr. Sean, can you speak up? Sorry, can't hear you very well.
It's funny because when Mark speak, it was like start to quiet, then go loud.
Yeah.
Then same as when you guys speak, was like quiet, then go loud. It's almost like a climax. Talking at a climax.
sorry, I'm
Where's
not
the
sure.
microphone?
There's a microphone.
Where is mine?
Whoever's speaking may have to sit way closer.
Turn the chair.
Yeah.
Rotate the chair.
So yeah, what we were running, we've been running it with individuals. So someone will come in, they say, all right, I've got this problem. We're like, all right, let's tailor one of the TLS programs to suit you. And then we run the education for them individually. But now we're looking at maybe trying to get the education being ran at a set point and then slotting people into that. So that's kind of something where we've kind of played around with both. But I think we're just kind of working out the best way to run that kind of set program. And just to provide the ongoing support. I think one of the issues that we've seen with a lot of people running it is that you kind of get to the second or third week, and that support kind of disappears and people kind of drop off. And so we're looking at a way of really keeping that sort of momentum going. Yeah. Okay,
got it. I want to ask, in Australia, does people like attending class?
As in here, us like running a class? Not typically.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
had quite a lot of classes in Good Life in the past. When I used to do the 12 weeks, some do, some really do, and they would be really looking forward to that Monday night when I run it. Others don't. So it all depends on individuals. And those that do come regularly every single week, or they don't miss 1 or 2 out of the 12, are the ones that get best results. And then after those 12 weeks, obviously now I don't do clinic, I just do Zoom online and Facebook and WhatsApp. I find that people don't just do 12 weeks anymore. I've had my very first client that was 130 something kilos. I've been working with for 3.5 years and still going, 85 from 120 nearly to 85, which is 300 something pounds to 100 pounds. So 3.5 years of me continuously still working online now. But I do see people that I've worked with 12 weeks coming to meet face to face as well in the past. That's my experience. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The reason I'm asking that, because I know that in certain location, people like to meet. In certain location, people don't like to meet, and that's because in Toronto, in Canada, we're very spread out. So if you're in downtown, like when I was working downtown, people had no problem meeting because it's like in and out because they're busy. But they like the in and out just to get kind of it's almost like the little coffee break. They come in, do a little check-in, and I tend to choose the time that most people have their so-called coffee break. So they quickly do come in, and I don't usually do that much of a teaching. Then I do once a month teaching because they're very busy. They will not come consistently on a weekly because they have, but that weekly come in, check in was for me to build that relationship and for me to ensure that they stay consistent so that they get the result. That was one. So it was a quick in and out, but at the same time, on a monthly basis, they know that I will do a topic related to that 12 weeks basically, so that they know that they will get that education. But that once a month was not a long commitment because it's much easier to kind of do that once a month. I find that works better downtown. However, in uptown, because people take a long time to travel to a clinic, they don't want to go in just for 10 minutes because that's a waste of their time. So they want to be there at least 45 minutes. To make use of their time. So it really, for where we work, we really need to look at the location to determine. Downtown, it's quick in and out. It was they like that format. So I tested different format, and I noticed that with like when anything that takes them to drive, that's not walking distance, they want to stay longer when they come because they make that effort to come. But if it's something that's walking from their work, I cannot take them to commit longer than once a month. Basically. So I think that we can certainly do some, like, again, like what we can do even in the next 4 weeks. I'm more than happy to jump on this call to help you continue to fine tune. But today I mainly want to understand, what are you looking for? I guess from an income, but also if you were talking about like the nervous system, the healthy gut, how it all connected with the weight. If we were to break down to say, let's test one program, what is that one program for you? Like if you want to be well known for that one program for your clinic, what's that one program that you want to be well known for? Like for me in my practice, I have always been well known to, at the very early stage of my practice, to incorporate functional medicine. I have always done functional medicine, and that was my uniqueness among the dietitian, because at that time there were only 4 dietitians in downtown that are competing. Like there's only so many of us, and I was unique because I incorporate more of a functional medicine, partly because of my Chinese background, and I understand how the body functions, and I use that perspective when I do my education, and they love it because it's different. It's still, I'm still going back to my nutrition core, but I use a different perspective and kind of look at the whole picture, and they see how everything's connected. And that's why when I incorporate supplement, they understand how all that's connected to the core. So they love it.
Yeah, that's your niche. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my niche. So they know when they come in, they get kind of the East meets West philosophy coming from me. Even though I I study and I practice in Canada. So that was my niche, because we all have to find a niche that we're known for. We cannot be jack of all trade.
Yep.
It's so hard to do well at jack of all trade. Like as much as I want to be doing everything, I cannot known, like I don't want that person to say, oh, go to Sosan, she's good at this, she's good at that. Then people will say, well, she's good at everything. Well, she's not good at. Like, it's not unique. But when they go to me, they know that's my uniqueness. That's what makes me different. It's almost like every chef has their own secret recipe, the secret sauce. What's your secret sauce? Let's work on that secret sauce. Eventually, you can have a second secret sauce. You can open a second restaurant. But right now, in this restaurant, if you're only known for that one dish, that people come back again and again, and people recommend that one dish, that's what that one dish is for you guys.
It's definitely got to be
Who is your target? Like, who is your ideal client? Who is the people, ideal client is the one that you love being served, but also the person that you know can spend. Because we're at the part of a service where this is not, it's a necessity and luxury combined together, right? It's not like they're sick to a point that they need treatment, but they want something. So we're very unique in that sense that we need to show them that there is a need. But this is in the point, to a certain degree, is a luxury, because seeing a doctor is free, seeing me is not. So I need to kind of position it. So what's one dish that you want to be known? Like, and like people go to your chiropractic and they say, that's what Dr. Mark is known for. That's like, I'm going to refer all my friends to him because he is known for X, Y, and Z.
Well, it's definitely got to do with how stressors in life, be it physical, chemical, or emotional, are affecting the function of the body and the nervous system. And then making sure that the body, the nervous system is supported so that the stresses aren't as bad and don't affect the function as bad. So like,
It's really about longevity. So it's about improving how the body's functioning.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's about longevity. It's very much about improving people's health from a long-term perspective, and creating lifestyle habits that'll take them sort of through the future and prevent them from developing sort of chronic issues later on.
Okay.
And I know with Dr. Christine would be brain function for little kids, so that's your niche, and even like breastfeeding, that's your niche. So I think each of this, individual chiropractors in this practice would have different niche. Even so, it won't be just the whole clinic, the whole practice, right? I think, yeah, like Dr. Sean, Dr. Christine, Dr. Mark would each have their own.
Because if you guys like know exactly what that, then I can put a proposal together, and you can look at this proposal and say, will this work? Because the great thing about TLS is, I always tell TLS, let's take away the weight loss perspective. TLS is an anti-inflammatory diet.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, it's an anti-inflammatory diet, and it works so well in a chiro clinic. Because everything goes back to, and so when you sell it as an anti-inflammatory, sometimes it's sexier than just as a diet, because there's so many diets out there.
Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah. It's just because diet can be powerful and not powerful, because people are so resistant to the word diet. There's so many diets out there. So when you said this is a diet, they said this is another diet. It's nothing attract them to do it. But when you package it, for example, coming in July for me, in my Facebook, I am going to we package as Sugar Buster, kicking up summer. I just call it that way. It's TLS, but I didn't call it TLS. I call it Sugar Buster in the summer. Because why? In the summertime, I would describe their pain, like sweet, like sugary drink, okay, beer, your cold mojitos, your margarita, right? Your ice cold coffee. When I describe that, I scream. They know what they know. This is a typical like summer things that we like to have, and these are not the greatest. So I always say that let's work for those people who had a trouble with that. Let's work on kind of we balance it. I said, like, do you want tips to learn how to have that and still balance your blood sugar? They want that because they know they're going to drink that. Then I can sell my package because I package it differently. Right? So that's why I want to say it's because now, like, because sometimes I move, like, yes, I'm functional, but around the certain time of the season, I play around with it because I want to attract a new set of clients come to see me.
Yes.
And summer is this set. So once fall, I have another set. Like I usually do one summer, one fall, then I do a January. January is my big kickstart because January, you know, New Year resolution is a huge thing for us, right? So that was my, so I kind of play around with that and I find that very helpful. That's why, so you mentioned longevity and Dr. Christine mentioned about like children and the whole kind of the prenatal, I guess, pregnancy and everything. We can certainly do different packages together, but if you, what we can do is I can send you a breakdown of if you can name like your ideal customer, describe that person. How do you want to say, maybe in the mid 30s, likely to have these issues, so that when you are selling your package, these are the key point. When you're adding supplement, those are the things that you're targeting. So for me, because I'm doing the sugar thing, guess what are the supplement that I'm targeting? Core. Well, for us in core trim tea, right? So you can do isochrome, will be a good one, right? You can add some omega-3 in there, just because around this time and thing, they will eat a lot of things that are inflammatory. I'm not sure, but I guess for us, summer is barbecue. It's crazy. We eat a lot of barbecue. I need to lower that. So omega-3 is in. So I have to think about things that are more in that thing. So I add those supplements. So my clients is always adding new. So those become the ongoing clients. So I have clients who order all the time because at different time because in Canada, we have different season. So I say, if different season you eat differently, why would you take exactly the same supplement?
That's right. Yeah.
So this way, I always get reorder, because I'm always let them see a perspective. So I train them that way, so that's very helpful. And I find that now I spend so little time to follow with my existing client because I did a really thorough job to educate them. So around this time of year, they know what to order, because those that have been with me for a long time, they know summertime, this is what Sosan talk about. Like come January, this is what Sosan talks about, because I talk about it again and again. I literally repeats it.
Yeah.
But when I repeat it, I collect new customer on top of my existing customer. Yeah. So my existing customer already give me BV, give me retail profit. But my new customer just added more BV and more retail profit, right? And my whole team get paid, and I have my team duplicate that. I said, honestly, all I need you to do is invite, because I can, so that you can see how I do it and you can duplicate that.
Yes.
That's all. That's the beauty about this business.
Yeah.
That I didn't have when I was working on my own. I had to create everything on my own. And now I have a team that I can work with. It's so wonderful. Yeah. And that's why I want to help you guys master, like not master, but to maximize that retail profit, that BV, that grease by itself. It just generates. But every now and then we do this little kind of fun promotion, marketing thing, just to get more, right? Because I always feel that you cannot always be marketing, because it's a lot of work, it's overwhelming and it's stressful. But if you set a certain timeline that works for you because of the type of clients you have, then those are the months that you're very busy. The rest you kind of do more follow-up, less of a creation. Do you see what I mean? So this way you have the time to be reflecting and creating for the next round of work to do. Like we cannot continue to do every day, every week, constantly promoting. It's very tiring as a practitioner. You get burned out, and you love what you do, but it's so sad to get burned out because of the everyday thing. But when you start to say, okay, you know what, I'm working with kids. What are the time frame that I know I can target kids with the mom, with the parents? There are certain time frame works really well with parents. And longevity, right? When you think longevity, so are you thinking about young looking for longevity, or are you looking for 60s looking for longevity? Like so
I definitely know for myself, and the majority of people that I see that I would be thinking for the TLS for them, and the ones that I am running it with mostly, are definitely sort of women in that sort of 35 to 55. A lot of the ones that are feeling like their metabolisms are slowing down, sort of premenopausal stuff going on as well, finding it really hard to shift weight. They're definitely the ones I see this working for, and that I particularly see a lot like that. The gym that we're located in, that's kind of their clients that they're mostly having through the gym, which sort of translates to me seeing a lot of people like that. So that's kind of where I would be. I think the marketing would really go well. I like what you said about the anti-inflammatory thing. I think that's just really necessary, and it will fit our clinic as well, because it's always something we are talking about. But yeah, definitely increasing metabolism and decreasing inflammation are probably my focuses. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this way you can do like a phase 1, like because people like to know they're progressing. Like it's human nature. We like to know we're progressing. So how I even walk with my clients, when I put a program, I'm actually going to phase 1, phase 2, and an ongoing, what we call maintenance phase.
Yes.
Because this way they know there's an ending. It's not like they know it's ongoing, but there's an ending to whatever you're starting with, because everything, the starting point is always the hardest. That's a lot for them to build that habit. If they have poor lifestyle, poor eating habit, the first month it's a crazy month. It's just crazy. They don't like you. But by second month, they start to like you a lot. And by third month, they fell in love with you. And they will not leave. They wouldn't leave. And I always say that. And I say to my clients, I know first month, you kind of regret coming to see me, but you know you already paid for it, so you stuck with me. By second month, you realize, oh, she's pretty good. I start to see it. By third month, you could not leave me, and they'll always laugh. And by third month, I said, isn't that true? And they said, yeah.
Yes.
And I said, I don't understand. It's a phase that we're going in. So this way, we can even create, like even with the TLS, because of the different menu plan we have, we can actually play around. Like, yes, the menu plan call Fat Shredder, call Continue Commitment, or call Sure and Steady. You don't, just because that is the name, you don't need to use the exact name. Because if you position yourself as an anti-inflammatory and you put them at certain phase the way you lay out, then this is your specialty. This is your uniqueness. This is your knowledge, right? These are only tools. The tools are for you to just mix and match. So you might start off some people, okay? Maybe these people can do originally, maybe do like for them to start off, a fat shredder will be a bit hard for some people, right? Maybe you want to do a Sure and Steady. When they do a Sure and Steady just to get some result, now let's give some challenge. Let's go back to Fat Shredder, right? After Fat Shredder, if they said that that they are doing pretty good and they like it, but they don't think that, but yet you can either give them a choice. So I usually do a little kind of flow chart. Say, okay, either go back to phase 1, the thing that you're trying, or we can do a flex meal. And we do have a flex meal menu plan, which is 1 or 2 days where you're off, but majority of the time you're still doing a rapid result of Fat Shredder. So this way but the way you layer it and the way you describe it is that instead of just saying fat loss, you said for these people, so from a menopausal, we know that excess weight will make the whole menopausal much worse from a hormonal balance. So when you can explain how the hormonal balance is so important from a stretch management, from an anti-inflammatory, then you can explain how these diet plays a role, so they can see. So it's no longer it's a diet for weight. It's just really to target, and you might hit a few of the hormones that are more related. Like for me, like if I would think if I'm thinking about menopausal, I would think about stubborn belly fat. Okay, a lot of women has that, right? More stubborn belly fat. So you might cause stubborn belly fat, and maybe less. A lot of women worry about the symptoms of menopausal, for example. So anti-inflammatory diet will reduce the symptoms, reduce the risk of those symptoms. So when you break that, then they understand why they're doing it.
Awesome.
Right. Okay. So this way we can play around with the supplement and see how that works. Right. So this way, it's so creative that it's so unique that no one can really copy you because you tweak it based on the way you want to target your ideal customer. Right. And this, like, for me, if I'm like, for example, this particular that I'm saying that I'm going to do in summer is I'm actually not just target about the summer with the sugar and everything. I'm only targeting Chinese, to be honest. Like this time I'm only doing Chinese. So my message to the Chinese is very particular because I know those words that they will understand because I only want to target them. Right. And I also know the typical eating habit in summertime. So I will choose supplements that target those things. Right. So together, so what we can do is maybe at the end of today's meeting, you can say, write out your ideal customer. And when you mention longevity and like anti-inflammatory and like menopause, then write that out and you can say, lay that out. Then maybe we can have another subsequent meeting. We'll have another meeting and we can talk about, okay, now let's plug in the meal plan. Let's plug in the supplement because now you're very clear who we're focusing. Now we're going to plug in those key things, those tools that we have with the company. Then we talk about the marketing because we're very clear and we test it out. We test out for 3 months, see how it goes. If the feedback is amazing, we'll continue. If the feedback was okay, we tweak it again. Maybe we have a different name again, right? So we can certainly do that. And this is the only way that we can see how it grows. But I want to say that TLS is so great because it's such a fundamental, I always call it an anti-inflammatory diet. Because sometimes when people hear low glycemic impact eating, in their mind, they think it's diabetes. And I have people say, I'm not diabetic. Like they get very offended. I'm not diabetic. Why you put me on a low glycemic impact eating? And that's why I realized sometimes when you say low glycemic, for some people, they say, oh, I'm not like, it's because glycemic, the name is just diabetes. That's what people interpret. But when I rebranded a different name, but I still seem to give them the same meal plan, people will not, like, it's all about the naming of things, right? When we look at a lot of diet plans out there, it's the same diet, different names. South Beach and Atkins is almost similar when you think about it. It's just a different name.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a sexier way. Oh, South Beach sounds better than Atkins, right? Or Atkins go off, but South Beach is Atkins. You know what I mean? Right. So it's really a marketing, and that's why use TL. Like I always said, TL is just the fundamental. It's just helping you to deal with the food so that you don't need to worry about that. You can add your own spiel. That's your own interest. That's your uniqueness. Like you add, like first, Dr. Christine, like kids, talk about typical kids thing that you really want to focus on. Like kids has so many areas. It could be picky eater, could be maybe like autism, could be allergy. Like you can really focus on that and create, like really plan for each of this. But before you do all this, choose one to work with first, and so that we can see how it works, right? Then eventually you are really branded as the specialist with kids, right? In all everywhere, but start one area. And this way we can actually get down to the T of calculating how many of such a supplement I can sell with this package, so that I can calculate, project it how my income, if I continue this in a 3 months, 6 months to a year. So I can see how it is from an income perspective. This is where the mathematics, because my husband is an accountant. And I learned so much from him is because I'm always like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And he's a guy that, okay, give me the number. He's a numbers guy, right? So he gave me the number. I was like, he was like, let's break it down and reverse engineer. So I realized that, yes, after this is all nice and fancy, we need to make sure that we still make money because all the time effort we put in there, right? So he would say, okay, so that means you need to sell say 20 package of this on a monthly basis to create X amount of BV. So it's very clear. So when I work with clients, I know exactly what my target on a monthly basis. I know, am I close to my target or far away from my target? Yeah. So it makes it very easy for focus on one thing so that you're not overwhelmed. Okay.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we've just had a little side discussion.
So I'm just sharing this based on me working with different practitioners, and we play around with just different like I said before, TLS, it's just a different menu plan that's already created for you to use for different things, and you can brand it any way you like it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a
definitely
great
from us, the anti-inflammatory, like being an anti-inflammatory program is huge. It fits. It
Yeah.
fits straight away. We've been expressing that. We've been speaking about that. It just covers all bases. It resonates very, very well. So I think that's it. That's definitely it.
Yep. So start with that, and like I said before, I'm happy to jump on more calls with you guys, just to like you let me know with this package how you feel, and I can certainly give you my feedback based on my experience working with a different practitioner, and we can tweak it and we can test it. Right. The great thing is we can test it. It doesn't work. It's not as well as what we wanted. Maybe it's the way we market it. Okay, maybe nothing to do with the program. Then we tweak the marketing. Marketing still doesn't get the result. Okay, we change to another program.
Mm-hmm. So for us to come up with the program that it is, what's the specific target for the program, the demographics. So obviously, as Dr. Shaw mentioned, female, the age group, capacity, etc. And then from that, what is it then specifically about the program that is targeted at them? Yeah, I think we've got that. I think we can do that very easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And once we do that, then we can talk about numbers, because once we have that, then we can know what are the combo of products and in terms of which one, because when I work with my clients, how I usually do is they have a starting package that they order, but we know sometime for majority population, they might not continue with the package continuously because for them it's costly. So I usually give them a support package if they could not continue with the actual, so that they always remain my customer. I don't want them to leave me. So I always want them to be part of it because I understand how much a supplement helped them. And I understand that the only way that they can see how much a supplement helped them is consistency. And I don't want the money is what's stopping them from the consistency so that they don't see the result. Because we all understand inflammatory take years to develop and it would take years to undo. So we need them to be on these products longer to see the result. And sometimes if price point is the only reason why they are stopping it, then they will not see that result that we want them to see, and we're not able to help them completely. And that's why I usually do a plan A, then I add a plan B, which is almost like 30% off from my plan A. I'll put the supplement together so that even though when the budget is issued, they still have something that they continue with, at least to see the result. I want them to see the result, basically.
Sosan, if I can just add something, I was chatting with Melanie last night, and she was talking about the possibility. I mean, I was requesting about the possibility of, you know, how you've got the Get Fit kit and all the extra things that we don't have right now in Australia, which would be really helpful. So hopefully that's something that maybe you can help us with. All this kit is amazing, but otherwise, like, we only have very little in Australia in terms of our TLS products, and we have to get everything from global, as you know. But I found even just trim tea from ongoing, like even global, even though it's, you know, or the NutriClean, which is good for, with our 30-day jumpstart, we don't have NutriClean, but it's wonderful to get NutriClean from global. But, you know, again,
yeah, I would second that. NutriClean we need here.
Definitely NutriClean, trim tea, trim cafe. I've sold so many trim tea ongoing, but imagine if it is available in Australia, that I would sell like triple, because the amount of trim tea, as opposed to if you were to sell it in US or Canada, it's because of the more than
I know.
So Melanie was saying that Melanie, you and Dana's friends would maybe have a meeting to see how many we in Australia need. Then I will be taking on the mission to mobilize everyone in Australia that are doing TLS, or people that are using trim tea. Like my clients, they keep buying. But I think probably I'm the odd one out. Not many people actually are selling trim tea because of the global. That's something we really, really do need. And
I know, and yeah, I know trim tea is probably one of the easiest to incorporate, just because it's a tea, and most people it's very easy, because when it's a human mindset. I find that when people take a trim tea, although it's a supplement, they don't think it's a supplement. They just
like
it's a beverage.
and then three, and then three, like just keep on. But
Yeah,
it's still expensive, you know, like from global. Yeah.
I know.
Suzanne.
Yes.
So, Suzanne, if possible, we've got an appointment we need to tend to now, so we can't stay on for too long now.
Nope. No
What do you
problem.
suggest? What do you suggest
So,
now?
Can we
So
meet
I suggest.
again? Yes, I think.
Okay, so I suggest that maybe we can reconnect. It depends on how long you guys will put together a program. Maybe you can send the program to me, and we can have another meeting, and we can just bang out on the combination of products. I will need to take a look at what's available in Australia to know that the product that you guys have available. I mean, you guys obviously will propose the product on that, and like maybe start with you guys proposing on the product and the program, and I can share from my perspective and from my experience working with my practitioner, what we can tweak on top of that. If it's great, we'll test on that. Like before, I'm here to help support you guys. I want you guys to grow, because isotonic and TLS, it's a perfect combo for any health practitioner. Truly a perfect combo. So I really would love for you to see the benefit, both for your patient, but also for you in as a practitioner, of the additional income. Totally possible. I have practitioner who make well, one of my practitioner sells. I know this is kind of funny. All he sells is 2 products, OPC and vitamin D, and he sells so much of it. And he used Sure and Steady program.
Right.
And it still works like crazy. That's all he sells. He sells there's no tomorrow. And he mark it up so high because of the way he market it. He did such a good job marketing it. Because the OPC for Canada at that time, right now is about $100 Canadian. At that time, it was $95, and he sell it for $120, and people still buy it. Yep. Because the way he packaged, because people want to get his guidance. That was the uniqueness, that he can add a premium to that price, basically.
Like that was Missy,
because it's service.
Yeah, 130 even. Like we only sell it 90 something recommended retail. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways. So let us reconnect. So create the program. Have your concentrate which is the person that you want to target. We start from there. Okay. And as soon as you put the program together, we will have a meeting. It could be in a week. It could be less than a week. Just let me know, and we can certainly plan another Zoom meeting like this.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Take care, everyone.
All right.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.